morning everybody, and welcome back into another video here at the end of the LEGO Custom Set Showcase for The Legend of Zelda Wave 3, where today we're taking a look at our penultimate custom set, so second to last, the 0039 with 678 pieces. This is the Hyrule Castle Infiltration, which is an expansion to our existing Hyrule Castle sets, which you will see combined with this set at the end. And I also do recommend, if you haven't gone and checked out that video of the Sanctum and our wall segment, including lots of fun characters and play features from the LEGO Legend of Zelda line, then I recommend going and checking those out. I'll have them linked in the top of this video. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at Z0039, the Hyrule Castle Infiltration for ages 8 and up, with 678 pieces, retailing for a slightly pricey 70 Great British Pounds and containing 5 brick-built characters, which we'll take a look at as well today. And I've got a quick little description whipped up before we open our box. Enter the castle to save Hyrule in the all-new expansion to the Hyrule Castle building system. Open the gate without being spotted by the menacing Skywatcher and avoid its laser. Find the Korok and collect supplies for your mission before helping defend against the Silver Lizalfos by dropping the portcullis. And that sort of gives you a flavour as to what might be happening in this set. But before we can take a look at all of our features, let's see what's inside our box. We have 6 numbered bags and a small instruction manual. And if we open up that instruction manual, we will see that Bag 1 builds our Guardian Skywatcher, Bag 2 stamps the foundation of the entryway, Bag 3 and 4 continue the building of the main castle build, with Bag 5 doing the upper floor and 6 installing the portcullis mechanism and topping off the 2 towers. And that is our full build. So we have our detachable Skywatcher and then just one solid lump of castle, no accessories. Starting with that Skywatcher, you can see is very similar to my Guardian from Z011 Guardian Attack, except for we've got a couple of additions. We have a recolor of both the propeller piece and the wind-up cog piece into black to represent the little finials on the side of his head. And then we've also got lots of our dark tan detailing with our trans pink studs and magenta curved tiles to represent those details. The neck is in its extended form using 1x1 round 2x2 round bricks. However, obviously if you wanted to make his neck go back up to when he's in his searching position, you could just remove these brown bricks so his head is up with the body. And that's saying that you could also just remove the propeller elements here, which are just clipped on using some clip pieces, and turn him up the right way, and you've pretty much got a rough build of a Guardian turret as well, which is a nice inclusion if a bit unnecessary for this set. Taking a look though, this Guardian is hiding a play feature. You will see the flickfire missile that is attached to behind his eye, allowing you to flick it from behind and launch the eye out as if he was shooting his laser at Link. However, I've also included a display option, just using a Technic pin with a red stud on the end, meaning that you could permanently insert that to make it more of a display piece if that was more your style, or like I said, you can have the weapon version as well. It also comes with this transparent rod piece, which I know is very hard to see on screen, but this allows us to attach our Skywatcher in multiple different places along the top of the battlements. You can see here, for example, we have this one where it's attached to the side of the blue tower, or over here where it's actually flying around the battlements, allowing for great posability and maneuverability, as the reason we have a Skywatcher included here is because when you enter Hyrule Castle through the big doors, he sort of flies around them in a big loop, so you could position him almost anywhere. And if we take a look at the castle section from Link's perspective, this is what he would see as he approaches the castle. And there's a lot of masonry bricks in the light bluish grey colour with some dark bluish grey accents. And we have these 2 giant stickers on the door as well. Moving over particularly to look at the left side, I have tried to capture some of the details that appear in the Hyrule Castle, such as using cheese slopes to support the overhangs up top, as well as the newer 1x3 bow element that was introduced in the police station modular building in 2020 to sort of create those crenellations sloping upwards. We're using a lot of the pyramidal pieces to represent decorations, maybe, or not quite gargoyles, but statued areas. And then we're also using 1x2 roof slopes down at the bottom to sort of create these like buffed out sections which do actually appear on the castle. And trust me, I've spent a long time in Breath of the Wild staring at this castle. And we've also got a couple of off-plant elements down at the bottom as well, as this model both straddles the Calamity and post-Calamity era, as while we have enemies such as the Silver Lizalfos and Skywatcher, we also have the Castle Soldier just to add some displayability. But this is something I would expect from LEGO if they made a set like this in real life. You're not just going to limit your minifigure options because you're going post-Calamity, or at least that's what I would do. Around the side, of course, we also have some Technic pins, and the sides are actually very plain, and this is designed so that they can actually attach with the wall segment Z0027, which we'll take a look at later in this video, and that allows you to make a large Hyrule castle using the wall segments and sanctums from those other sets. Up the top on the battlements, you can see a gap, and that is entirely for the portcullis, which I am fully aware that Hyrule Castle didn't have, but I've always wanted to design a portcullis play feature, and I think it's a nice, easy win. And who's to say they didn't have a portcullis that wasn't just smashed out by a guardian? Obviously, the gatehouses do, but what's to say this one doesn't as well? Also, you could obviously place a lot of guards at the top from our Hyrule Castle Guard Battle Pack, another custom set from Wave 3 here, and that would allow you to put lots of soldiers for the Guardian to shoot at along the battlements, which I think is kind of cool. Looking at the doors, obviously they can open. As I mentioned earlier, we've got these big stickers on these 1x4 panels with 4 studs on one side, along with some curved details. These doors would actually be able to update it in 2022 now that there is a 3x3 curved element. But while I'm waiting that to be added to Studio, I thought that the exposed studs added almost like some iron rod detail. We also have some 1x4 tiles which add a little bit of a detail to the doors. But now let's just watch them open. And you can see they have about 90 degrees worth of movement before they're capped off and cannot open anymore. However, this is more than enough, as when Link opens these doors with magnesis, it's very hard to make them open the full way. And when they're open, this reveals the portcullis as well as the backside of the studded plate. And there is another close-up look. We're using the portcullis in dark brown, or is that black, for this gate. And that portcullis can be raised up all the way, which of course causes it to stick out the top. But in order to do that, you have this 2x3 pentagonal tile element with a print of the Hyrule crest on it, and this is actually attached to some Technic axles, which can be pushed in to hold the gate in place. So you pull it out, which allows you to drag the gate up, and then when you're ready to hold it in position, you just shove it in and it holds it up. Taking a look at that action from around the back, you can just about spy the 2 red Technic axles which fit between the portcullis elements, and when that gate raises up, you can see that they hold it in place up there. There are also 3 holes to aid with the movement of that, but apart from that, it's fairly empty around the back. We also have 4 interiors to take a look at, so let's get started. Of course, with the main entryway, you can see there are 2 ladders on the side to give the suggestion of being able to climb up to the battlements, as well as this is what the doors look like from behind. It's a really ominous thing that I think would keep any monster out. Starting in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that this is a nice small room. You have an open window where your guards could stand on the chest and shoot out of, as well as maybe an enemy climb through. There's also a map of the entire Hyrule on the wall, as if telling the guards which direction they're facing. There's also this treasure chest down on the floor, which contains a diamond using a chrome-like ore piece, and the rock piece from the 2018 Miners line from City, recolored in red to represent a ruby. Over on the right hand side, we have an eclectic mix. This is a storage room. You can see a spear and a baguette in the back. The baguette obviously representing the fresh bed cookable item from Breath of the Wild, and the sphere just being a soldier sphere. We're also reusing the wand boxes once again in this wave, and inside you can see a wand recolored in blue, red, and gold. And to me, these are the best representations of arrows for Breath of the Wild. So these represent your ice, fire, and electric arrows, although maybe it's a bit of a push. You can also see we have a shield element that's been printed with the Traveler's Shield, which is obviously an iconic piece of the Breath of the Wild trailer and cover art, so it's nice to be able to attach that to our Link minifigure. And then also in the box at the back we have our rupee pack, but we'll get back to that in a second. We also have a container here at the bottom which is filled with a different couple of types of fish, representing the Hyrule bass and the hearty bass as well. You can see obviously the rupees in the crate, and this contains 3 green rupees, 3 blue rupees, and 2 red rupees. And if you don't know how this works, this is something I invented for Wave 3 of the custom sets. Just like how in superhero sets you get this little bag which contains a variety of superhero elements, you get this little perforated bag full of rupees which allow us to have some rupee currency in our storage room across the set, allowing you to build up quite a collection of rupees when you go across all the sets. Up in the top left room, as we look at it from the back, you have a little weapons room. You can see a little torch in the corner, as well as a sword and a bow on a rack. There's also 2 windows up on this floor, but that's not much. Up on the top right, our window is actually blocked by a printed 2x3 tile that would actually be a sticker of the Hyrule banner from the castle, and at the bottom that goes into some pleated dark red slopes. But there's also a very suspicious flower here using the leaf piece and then the flower element, and of course this represents a Korok which can easily be removed using the DC Superhero Poser piece, and he is using a printed, this time 1x2 half square tile in dark red with a print on it, and he's a sand green Korok from Breath of the Wild, and we'll take a look at which one inspired him in just a minute. But I think there's some fairly nice filling of those rooms. That's actually it for the build, and before we take a look about how it combines with the rest of the Hyrule Castle sets, we should go through our minifigures. So first up we have our Champion's Tunic Link, and this is the same Link that appeared in Z011 Guardian Attack, so you'd probably have a couple of them by now. However, I still really like this figure. He's using a dual molded sword component that was introduced in the CMF Series 20, and he's wearing his iconic Champion's Tunic and some dual molded legs and arms, just like his reference imagery over here on the right of your screen. He's also using the hairpiece that I molded for him back then, who has also been used subsequently on other characters such as Misko and a couple more. The hairpiece is actually in the medium nougat color with the light flesh ears on it. And then we move on to our Castle Soldier, who is just a generic soldier, but the reference imagery I found the clearest is the one that is inspired by the Castle Soldier set that Link wears in both Breath of the Wild and then in Age of Calamity. Obviously, this is with just a generic face print underneath. This guy's come in quite a few sets now, including the Castle Town People Pack, and I believe one of the other Hyrule Castle Wool sets, and of course the Castle Soldier Battle Pack from Wave 3. He makes his next appearance here with the Rohirrim helmet, again recolored just as before, another spear element, as well as some very detailed printing on his arms, torso, and legs. A great army building figure to fill up your wall segment. We also have the brand new and exclusive Silver Lizalfos figure from Breath of the Wild. The Lizalfos mold is nothing new. This is the mold I've been using since Wave 1 of my custom set showcase. But he joins the ranks of our green, silver, dark, electric, ice, and fire Lizalfos, and he's of course the silver one, who is exclusive to this set, and he also joins the rank of our Silverbow Koblin, which we've had before, and I really like the way he looks with these purple highlights, as I mentioned, in the same piece recolored. He's also got his like bronzish armor pieces on him as well. Overall, a really nice figure that I think is a nice exclusive touch to this set, and I'm really pleased to see another Lizalfos variant make its way into the custom set showcase. I believe we've only got blue and black left to do now. And then we have the Korok, which, as I mentioned, is the sand green variant, loosely based off the one you see on your screen now, a common Korok that appears across Hyrule. I chose not to give him the berries this time, as I wanted to keep him simple, as he's posed on an angle with the DC Poser piece. He's using no new recolors apart from the slope, which has got his face printed on, and I realise that it's the wrong shape, but I can do what I want with these Koroks, and he still definitely looks like one. Next up, we have the Guardian Skywatcher, who is our last figure for today. However, he's mostly just here to show you what he'd look like in his drawn form, as I like to draw all of my brickbuilt characters just for consistency's sake. Here you can see what I mean about the like wind-up pieces being a really good representation of the little things on the side of his head. And this time his eye is still in the red form, not in the blue form. You can see how the shaping works really well, and how the wheel arches in black really give that sort of like shape of him. And then, of course, the propellers that are sticking out the side. And then that's pretty much it for this guy. And that's actually it for Hyrule Castle Infiltration, but as mentioned and as promised, here you can see the full set with our Hyrule Castle Sanctum and Wall segment. And don't worry, if you guys stick around on the channel, there will be an updated version of this render done ever since I fixed the castle, as this set and render were done way before I actually fixed the castle, which is another video I highly recommend checking out. So it does look a lot better once I've added all my golden bits and the rest of it, but you'll have to stick around to check that one out. But if we take a look at it up close, you can see that it fits really well, in particular with the wall segments, as it has matching levels of detail, battlements that actually connect, and obviously the full interior segments that work well. And obviously it guards up against the Sanctum with these lovely doors. I think it's probably my second favourite out of the 3 Hyrule Castle expansions we've done so far, with the Sanctum just beating it out after I did the updated version. But before I'd done that, this was genuinely my favourite. But that's it for Z0039. We've only got one more custom set left in the wave, and then I cannot believe it, we're done. This is Z0030, coming at you next Friday with 793 pieces. And I think you can probably guess what it is, but I still think it has a lot to offer. But in the meantime, let me know what you thought of Hyrule Castle Infiltration, and if you got any ideas for Wave 4 and such. As I mentioned, the release of this and any future videos will be slightly interspersed as we're starting to head into 2022. I'm very aware that we could end up seeing LEGO Zelda sets this year, and I have a couple of predictions that I really want to make before we start hearing any rumors. So expect the custom sets to be a bit slower, but we've got another exciting series obviously starting on the channel probably this week actually. So I shall see you over there then, and have a great day. Bye bye.